It's Monday, November 4th. Right now on 12 News at 10.
A high-stakes election season is about to come to a close in Arizona. Tonight, campaigns are making their final pitches before voters head to the polls tomorrow.
I'm Chase Golightly in Phoenix, where Arizona Democrats just held their last major campaign rally ahead of tomorrow's election. How they feel going into it, we'll tell you coming up.
I'm Bianca Bono in Prescott, where Republican candidate for U.S. Senate Kari Lake makes her final pitch to voters on Election Eve.
I'm Erica Stapleton. A Mesa company linked to fraudulent voter registration forms in Pennsylvania. We'll tell you why that isn't the only problem.
I'm Sean Rice in the newsroom tonight. Long-awaited justice for a Gilbert family who saw their barn go up in flames. We'll tell you the sentence handed down to a firework-throwing teen who ignited the blaze.
12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
Well, we start tonight with a clock ticking down to Election Day. We are almost there. Voters will head to the polls at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning in high-stakes battleground Arizona. Tonight, both parties are urging their supporters to get out and vote if they haven't already done it. Thanks for joining us on this Election Eve. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Caribe Divine. 12 News journalists Chase Golightly and Bianca Bono are on the campaign trail as Democrats and Republicans make their final pitch to voters. But let's start first with Chase, who is live at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, where Democrats are feeling optimistic about tomorrow. Chase?
Caribe, Mark, that's right. And as you mentioned, this is their final push. And tonight, Democrats brought out all their political heavy hitters to get their supporters excited for Election Day. It wasn't just an election rally. It was a show. Democrats doing all they can in battleground Arizona to turn the state blue this election.
One day, Arizona, one day until we make history.
Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Ruben Gallego making one of his last campaign speeches on Election Eve, saying he will represent all Arizonans no matter their party.
We're going to defend our freedoms, including rights to an abortion. We want to take care of our seniors and our veterans. And we want to give our kids the best possible future they could ever have.
Prominent party members also spoke, including Congressman Greg Stanton, Governor Katie Hobbs, former Representative Gabby Giffords, and U.S. Senator Mark Kelly.
Kamala Harris will cut taxes for the middle class and lower the cost of groceries, housing, and prescription drugs.
Hitting the major talking points you would expect to hear from one of these rallies: abortion access, the economy, climate change, and water security.
I need you to call all your friends and family members and neighbors and make sure that they also have a plan to vote.
Knowing every vote in this election will make the difference.
We are fighting to protect our democracy, our freedoms, and our future.
Now, the event ended about 30 minutes ago, and everyone that we spoke with tonight said that they had already turned in their ballots, but they also said they will still reach out to their friends and family and encourage them to go to the polls tomorrow if they haven't already. We're live in Phoenix tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thanks. Republican Senate candidate Kari Lake was in Prescott tonight, rallying her supporters before they head to the polls tomorrow. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono continues our coverage. She's at the famed Prescott Courthouse tonight with Lake's message.
On a chilly Election Eve in front of the Yavapai County Courthouse in Prescott, Kari Lake stood in front of her supporters, urging them to get out and vote. Her final rally, hoping the energy here can boost her across the finish line.
We're here in Prescott, the most patriotic city in America.
On the steps of the Yavapai County Courthouse, Kari Lake makes her final pitch to voters.
I want to go to Washington, D.C., and I want to help President Trump secure our border. I'm so tired of what's happening.
It's Election Eve, marking the end of her campaign. The Republican former TV news anchor vying for the open U.S. Senate seat, hoping to represent Arizona in Washington.
You know what I believe in? Fair and honest elections. That way we can vote the losers out and keep the winners. How's that?
The history of this historic courthouse not lost on Lake, a popular backdrop for Republican candidates. It's where John McCain spent Election Eve on this same day in 2008 during his presidential campaign, and the place Barry Goldwater announced his presidential candidacy in 1964.
Do you know that the America First movement was started right here, right in this spot right here, by Barry Goldwater.
During her 2022 gubernatorial bid, which Lake lost by 17,000 votes statewide, she won 64% of the vote in Yavapai County. And it's those voters she chose to spend the final night of her 13-month campaign with.
Hope everything goes well with her. We're supporters of her and really appreciate her being here.
I think it's wonderful. She's very personable. We met her at Cold Grill, and she's got our vote.
Lake, who has questioned the accuracy of polling leading up to now, says she's left it all out on the trail, urging her supporters to do whatever they can to help her win.
Go out there and vote tomorrow. Let's save Prescott, Arizona. Let's save Arizona, and let's save America.
And other speakers who helped introduce Kari Lake included CD8 candidate Abe Hamadeh, Senator Wendy Rogers, and Congressman Andy Biggs and Eli Crane. We're in Prescott. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you. The first statewide and county election results will be released to the public after 8 p.m. tomorrow. Maricopa County elections officials say that the first batch of results will include an estimated 1.2 million early ballots. That's about 3/4 of the county's early ballots received. Right now, Republican voters account for 40% of all early ballots in Maricopa County. Democratic voters are at 32%. County officials say that a majority of the ballots will be counted by Wednesday.
And we'll have extensive coverage on air and online throughout the day and evening tomorrow. Here's a look at our lineup. First, we'll have live local coverage from 1 to 5 p.m. on 12 News and 12 Plus. Then, beginning at 7 when the polls close, we'll be covering the first local results live on 12 Plus. So if you don't already have it, download the app right now so you are ready to go. Our coverage continues throughout the evening on 12 News at 10. Tonight, an Arizona company that's under the leadership of Mesa's vice mayor is under scrutiny for voter registration forms.
12 News confirmed this afternoon that the group has caused problems in Maricopa County, and now there are issues in at least one other state.
12 News journalist Erica Stapleton is breaking down what we've learned.
Arizona business records indicate that Mesa Vice Mayor Francisco Heredia runs FieldCorps, the company that's accused of being involved in problematic voter registration forms. And it's not the first time the company has been under the microscope.
Voter registration forms can come with complications.
This has been a thorn in the side of county recorders throughout Arizona for many years, but it has picked up in recent years.
Including the 90,000 registration forms dropped off on the October 7th registration deadline this year, according to Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer.
We had people with entire trash bags full of voter registration forms in our lobby.
Of the big batch,
40,000 approximately of those voter registration forms were, I think the charitable word would be to say they were needing attention.
Like forms that were damaged, torn, hard to read, or just flat out wrong.
Voter registration forms that tried to register Mickey Mouse, Jerry Seinfeld, Donald Duck, among others.
Richer said a group that played a, quote, significant role in that big drop-off. FieldCorps, a company managed by Mesa Vice Mayor Francisco Heredia.
Yes, that is FieldCorps. Yes, this is a group that we have alerted in the past that we have been not wholly satisfied with the voter registration forms that have been submitted.
Of the 40,000 problematic forms dropped off in Maricopa County on the registration deadline, Richer couldn't confirm how many came from FieldCorps. But it isn't the only issue with the company this year. In Monroe County, Pennsylvania, the district attorney there shared in a statement on social media that 21 voter registration forms linked back to FieldCorps were referred to the district attorney's office by the Board of Elections. The DA said they determined 16 of those FieldCorps forms were fraudulent, saying, quote, the specific fraudulent character of these applications involve forged signatures, often with incorrect or incomplete identifying information. Last year, the Arizona Attorney General's office said that 24 forms from FieldCorps in Navajo and Mojave counties were sent to the AG's office for investigation. That case was referred to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and is still open. The AG's office said that all those forms were rejected, and none of those people were registered to vote. Neither Heredia nor his staff responded to my requests for an interview. Richer says these issues with FieldCorps are things they've discussed with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and the Arizona Attorney General's Office.
and we have admonished them to please, please, please submit better voter registration forms, to please do more quality control.
These incomplete or inaccurate forms are taxing on county recorders' offices. Richer says by law, they have to reach out to the people on the forms to try and get information, more information that can get them registered. These are the safeguards that are in place that seem to be working here. The Arizona Attorney General's office says they have not received any complaints here about Field Corps this year or any other groups involved with voter registration. Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
Erica, thanks. Again, Vice Mayor Heredia did not return our repeated request for comment on this story. 12 News attempted to catch up with him tonight at the Mesa City Council meeting, but he wasn't there. We will continue to update this story as we learn more. Today, a judge sentenced a Gilbert teen for his role in a firework throwing incident that resulted in a barn burning to the ground over the summer.
And what's even scarier is that other teens were inside the barn at the time, but thankfully they were able to escape. 12 News journalist Sean Rice spoke with both sides of this contentious case. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Mark and Caribe, this case really has divided a lot of people in the Gilbert community. Some who believe this teen's actions are correctable and reformable, while others say a probation sentence for his actions will never be justice and is nothing more than a slap on the wrist.
It's a daily reminder of the things we lost and don't have.
Images Jenny Jones and her family will have ingrained in their minds forever. Their red barn, a place of family gatherings, now gone.
There was 10 kids there, and it's affected a lot of the kids.
Monday, inside a juvenile courtroom, a Gilbert teen who pleaded guilty to starting that blaze was sentenced to 1 year on intensive probation. He was charged with arson the night before the 4th of July when he and several other teen boys began hurling insults at Jones's daughter and her friends who had gathered inside.
If we didn't get out in time, we wouldn't be here right now, going through this, and be a totally different story.
Thankfully, Lexi and her friends all made it out alive. As he was walking out of court, the teen boy's grandfather says he now has an opportunity to learn from his actions.
Move forward with his life and make right what he can make right. Obviously, there's things that are the results of actions that can't be completely restored, and that's very sad. It's unfortunate.
In addition to supervision on probation, he is ordered to perform 40 hours of community service. The judge ordering that be done at an organization that works with burn victims.
Sometimes when you see it firsthand and it's visceral, you understand the real damage.
That idea came from John Lewis, the father of one of the teen girls inside the barn when it became engulfed in flames. He hopes it gives him a new perspective on just how serious his actions were.
Incarceration or doing workbooks, that's not going to change a thing. But seeing what that could have done and hearing those stories firsthand and not being able to escape it for 40 hours and really digesting on that will make it real.
Now, the other teen boy charged with arson has not yet entered a plea. He is scheduled to have a trial this upcoming December. The Jones family estimates it will cost them $500,000 to rebuild their red barn. It's a rebuilding process they tell me they hope to begin once this court process is over. Sean Rice, 12 News.